Welcome to the last class of 2022. As usual, if you've been coming to my class regularly, make sure you have 2 blocks nearby and a blanket or a couch pillow. If this is your first time you come in the class or watching the video later, take your time to gather those props. Once you gather those props, come into a child pose if that works for you. Sit your sit bones in between the heels and rest your torso in between the thigh bones and extend the arms forward. Rest the shoulders away from the ears. Keep it spacious between the shoulders with the collarbones bend. If stretching arms overhead is a bit too much for you, you can bring the arms by the side. Just let your eyelids get heavy. Perhaps fully close your eyes. If we're starting from child pose does not work for you, especially in this season, your nose can get congested. You can come sit up on a hero pose or cross-leg sitting. Choose a posture that your breathing is steady and easeful. Because I'm teaching, so I'm gonna rest my forehead on the block so I'm not congesting my nose too much. That way you can hear me clearly when I'm cueing as well. So let your breath getting steady and follow your mind with it. They might just pull from a really busy place, so it takes time. Be patient. And whichever posture you choose to start your practice today, you can stay in this natural breath. But if you like to follow my instruction on the breathing practice today, you can follow my counting. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a counting of 4 for inhale and a counting of 6 for exhale. And you can base your own capacity. You can tailor it into 6 to 8 or 8 to 10. The gist here is making your exhale longer than your inhale, so you can bring your attention a bit closer to your practice tonight. Take a long breath in. And exhale, let everything out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue to count on your own, and as I mentioned, you can change into a number that works better for you as long as you try to get the exhale exhalation longer than the inhale. And if your current posture does not allow you to do that, change into a more supportive posture that you can focus on the breath rather than the shape. You might see some resistance of your mind, especially if you just come from a busy place. It might be still seeking for stimulation. Just observe it. No fighting against it, but also no following it. If your mind wandered away, gently pull it back with the sound of your breath, with the counting of your breath. And let the quietness symbolize your commitment to your practice tonight. There'll be days we move fast, we move fluent, but tonight we'll sit with the slowness, we sit with boredom. And after the next round of breath, come back into your natural breath. You can come into a table shape and move through some cow and cat. Another option is move into upward facing dog and on the exhale come into child pose. And also rock into a downward facing dog and forward into a high plank. Then rest your pelvis down. Add any movement you'd like to wake up that spine. Release the pressure from the top of the feet. But I do invite you still pay attention to the breath and actually keep the exhale long if you can. And we'd like to keep that through the practice tonight. And see if you can match your movement to that pace. There'll be rushing, there'll be grasping, and no judgment. That's why we practice. And conclude your flow into child pose again. From child pose, thread your right arm underneath your left and rest your right cheek onto the floor and turn your chest to the left side. Inhale, reaching to the left fingertips. Next, lengthen to the spine and rest your tailbones to the heels. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, open the chest toward the sky. Last time, inhale. Exhale, slowly come back to center. We'll do the other side. Thread the left arm underneath the right. Rest the left cheek onto the floor. Inhale, walk the right fingertips away from you. Exhale, press the tailbones toward the heels. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, rotate through the spine. Turn your chest toward the right, toward the sky. Last time, get lengthened. Exhale, come back to center. Bring the left hand forward and walk both hands to the left side. Let the right side body getting stretched. Inhale, feel the air moving through the right side body all the way to the right fingertips, sending it out of you. And sending that right sit bone to the right heel. Stay close to the sound of your breath. Slowly move back to the center. And walk the hands to the right side this time. Inhale, lengthen to the left arm. Left sit bone push toward the left heel. Next, rest your torso towards the knee. You can come back to that ratio of your breathing, 4 to 6, or 6 to 8, or 8 to 10. Let your mind getting bored. And slowly come back to center. Rock forward. Rest your pelvis toward the ground. Chest forward. Into upper facing dog. Tuck the toes. Wave your tailbones up. Release the heels toward the ground. Roll your biceps toward the front. Press evenly into the palms and the fingertips. Keep the legs somewhat bent. You can bend into one leg and another. And this first downward facing dog can also rock forward into a high plank and back into this Adho Mukha Svanasana. And if this does not work for you, bring the knees down to the floor and to a table. If you're in table, open the left knee to the left side. If you're in downward facing dog, lift your left leg up and stack your left hip over the right. You can stay there. Option to draw some big circles with the left knee. And switch direction. Press firmly into the left palm, turn the chest toward the ground, and draw the left knee into the chest. Press into the palms, lift your knee into the chest, and then lightly step the left foot to the left thumb. Release your right knee down. Take your time to find your right knee a great place that can get some front right leg stretch, but also supportive. You can bring the blocks, if you have them, underneath your hands. Find a steady spot for you to focus on first, because we're going to be in this shape for a while. Once you found the spot, you can keep your hands on the ground or on the blocks. You can also bring it to the front left thigh. If you find yourself, your gaze moved away from the spot, bring it back to that steady spot. And imagine you're breathing into that spot. An option to bring the arms by the ears into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Release the shoulders away from the ears. Bring back the quality of your breath. And with each long exhale, release your pelvis forward and downward. Gaze on this one point can be very boring, especially if your mind has been wired into constantly seeking for stimulation. Just challenge yourself a little bit. Finish last one. And exhale, release your right hand down and left hand up. Inhale, lengthen to the left hand. Now exhale, rotate through the spine. Roll your ribs toward the sky. If you find that you start having difficulty with extending the length of your exhale, you might be in a shape that not being supported enough, so you can back out a little bit. And exhale, release your left hand down, hands on the ground or on the blocks. Inhale, back to low lunge. Exhale, pin your left hip back, come into half split. Pull the left toes towards you.
Straighten the left leg. Press the back of the left leg toward the ground. Lengthen through the spine toward the front. You can grab the big toes with your right hand. You can rock the bottom of your left foot back and forth. The main thing you can do in this half split. But see if you can stop at a point that you feel you're getting challenged, but also you have enough space to create some boredom out of that shape. On the bottom of the next exhale, bend back into low lunge, right hand back down to the ground, then shimmy your left foot to the left side and turn onto the pinky edge of the left foot and use your left hand, open the left knee to the side and turn your chest to the side. Option to stay here. Option to reach your left hand back, open the left shoulder, left chest. The option to pull the right heel toward the sit bone. Your hand and the right foot may or may not touch. If your left hand able to grab the right ankle, kick the right foot away from your left hand to encourage some chest opening. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, release the pelvis down and forward. If you have the bind, slowly release the right leg. Bring the left hand down. Step your right foot outside your right hand. And sit your hips down into Malasana Yoga Squat. Gather your hands in front of your heart as prayer. Press your elbows into the thigh bones. Option to stay here, option to extend your left arm out, but continue to push the right elbow into the right thigh bone. And release your left ear toward the left shoulder. Option to bring the left hand on top of your right ear. Just add some weight to encourage some stretch of the right side of the neck. But continue to press the right elbow into the right thigh bone and imagine there's still something pressing into the left thigh bone as well. Keep the left leg open. Then come back to center. We'll do the other side. Extend your right arm out. Continue to press the left elbow into the left thigh bone and release your right ear toward the right shoulder. Option to bring the right hand on top of your left ear. Use your right elbow to pressing into the right thigh bone. And use your left elbow to press the left thigh bone out. And come back to center. Bring both hands down, lift your tailbones up. Shimmy your feet to be together. Inhale, hand on the blocks on the shin, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, follow the legs. Come all the way up. Exhale, hand to your heart center. By the side, Tadasana. Shift the weight around the corners of the feet. Find a steady spot for you to focus on once again. And if you like, you can close your eyes for this intentional Tadasana. Even with the eyes closed, still imagine that this point for you to anchor on. Your physical body is still very much engaged. Your attention still very much resting on your breath. Check in with your experience with all the boredom that rising up through your practice so far. And telling yourself it is okay to sit through those. And there'll be many great things rising through those boredom, and we'll unfold them through the practice tonight. You can slowly blink open eyes. And inhale, raise up arms, option to come up to the balls of the feet. And exhale, slowly follow the pace of your breathing out. Release your knees, bend into your legs. Slowly release your hands onto the ground, heels on the ground, and bring the tailbones up. Fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, step left and right to the back into a plank. Option to release the knees down. Take a long inhale, lengthen to the crown of the head. And press the heels of the heels toward the back. And bend to the elbows and release all the way down to the ground. Cactus as arms. And bring the hands toward the elbows where. Point the elbows toward the sky. Inhale, lift the chest up. Turn the fingertips. Exhale, dip the chest down. Twice more like that. Inhale. Exhale, dip the chest down. One more time, rise up. Press the top of the feet into the ground. Next, this time, dip your right shoulder to the left side. Gaze over the left elbow toward the sky. Inhale, back up. Exhale, dip the left shoulder. And switch side. Find the pace of your breathing again. Exhale, release everything down to the ground. Bring the hands by the chest. Lift through table or high plank. We all meet in downward facing dog. Adjust in your downward facing dog, pressing into the palms evenly. Roll your biceps forward. And keep your shoulders spacious. If you always welcome to come into a table if that works better for you. If you come into the table, open the right knee to the right side. If you're in downward facing dog, stack your right hip over the left and pressing into the right palm so your chest still facing toward the ground. Draw some big circles with that right knee. And reverse the circle. Take a big inhale. And exhale, draw the right knee into the chest. Pressing into the palms. Bring the right knee close to the chest. And lightly step the right foot to the right hand. Release your left knee down. Hands on the ground or on the blocks. Find a steady point. It can be the same spot for you to focus on. And if you like, you can climb your hands onto the top of the right thigh. Option to raise up the arms by the ears for a classic low lunge. Rest your mind on the spot that you decide to focus on. And once again, let the boredom rise, knowing there'll be great things, wonderful things coming out of the boredom. I think one of my favorite quotes recently I've read somewhere is, oftentimes coming from the boredom, there's creativity. When was the last time you felt bored? When was the last time you felt bored and you just let it be that way, rather than seeking for stimulation? We all have been that person when we see a parent giving an electronic device to a child when they say they're bored and we judge them. In this case, our mind can be that child. And it's up to us what we want to do as a parent. We just keep the chance for the child to be bored and let something creative coming out of it, or we give the electronic device to it for constant stimulation. Release your left hand down onto the ground, right hand up, turn your chest to the right side. Inhale, raise the right fingertips up toward the sky. Exhale, rotate through the spine. Release your right hand down, hands on the blocks or on the ground. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, pin your right hip back, pull the right toes towards you. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. So you can pull the right toes towards you. You can also rock your right foot back and forth. You can also grab the right toes with your left fingertips. And then you chose a posture that feels challenged, but also supported enough that you can let that boredom rising because you're so focusing on one place. And it's easier said than done, so be kind, be patient with yourself. Especially if our mind that has been trained this way, constantly seeking for stimulation. When you chose to be an observer, you can better analyze where is that urge coming from. Oftentimes that seeking hides something that we do not necessarily want to face or wants to deal with. And bend into your right leg, left hand back to the ground, and shimmy your right foot to the right side and come up onto the pinky edge of the right foot. Use your right hand to gently guide your right thigh bone to open. Turn your chest up. Pressing the left palm. Option to open the right arm up. Option to bring the right hand to the back. The option to pull the left heel towards your left sit bone. Your right hand and your left foot may or may not touch. If they do, kick the left foot out of your right hand to encourage your right chest to be open. Observe your breath again to see if it's not steady anymore. If it is, maybe you should release the bind if you have it. And eventually, we all release of the bind. Let the left foot slowly go. And tuck your back toes and step your left foot outside of your left hand and sit your tailbones down. And gather your hands in front of the heart, Malasana, yoga squat. You can stay in this Malasana. You can try exactly what we did in the last round. You can also extend your left arm out, right arm up. Continue to press your right knee open. Bring the right hand onto the back for a half bind. And if you like to, you can wrap your left hand around your left knee, walk your hands towards each other. Open the right shoulder, open the right knee, and release your left ear toward the left shoulder. Just follow the sound of your breath again. And then come back to center. We'll do the other side. Extend your right arm out. Left hand arm up. Press the left knee open. Bring the left hand onto your small back. Option to wrap your right arm around your right knee and interlace your hands and release your right ear toward the right shoulder. Slowly come back to center. Hands down, lift your tailbones up. And this time, interlace your hands. Reach your interlace of hands toward the sky and just rest your chest toward the thigh bones. Stay steady on the bottom of your feet. And reach the interlace of the hand to the right side and turn your chest to the left. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, come back to center. We do the other side and reach the hands to the left side and open the chest to the right. And come back to center, release the hands and rise all the way up. Raise up the arms and the hand to heart center by the side, Tadasana. Reconnect with your breath again. And I do invite you to recreate that breath where the exhalation is longer than the inhalation. So it can help you to shift the focus from seeking for stimulation to sitting through the quietness and stay with steadiness. We move through some Sun Salute A today. If you have any other kind of salutes you'd like to follow, please go for it. Otherwise, we'll move to 2 rounds together before I send you on to your own. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, lengthen to the spine, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step left and right. Into a high plank or knee plank. Take inhale. Exhale, bend to the elbows. You can release all the way down to the belly. And inhale, lift the chest up. Option to straighten both arms. Lift the pelvis off from the floor. Upward facing dog. Exhale, roll your tailbones up into downward facing dog. Three to 5 rounds of breath in this downward facing dog. And just observe when some thoughts is trying to take your mind away, rising up in this quiet space, which is absolutely normal. And as we said at the beginning of the practice, rather follow it or fight it, just observe it. The bottom next exhale, step by step, or half forward. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Rise all the way up. Exhale, hand through heart center. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, asp. Exhale, step right and left into a high plank or knee plank. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bend to the elbows. You can choose cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale. Roll your tailbones up into downward facing dog. Two more rounds of breath in this downward facing dog. The bottom of the next exhale, step by step, or half forward. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Exhale, fold over. Rise all the way up. Exhale, hand to heart center. Finish 3 more rounds on your own and take your time and challenge yourself to follow the pace of your breath rather than matching the pace of your breath with your movement. And if you're done with your flow today, you can also come into a child pose and rest over there. But if you do choose to flow, make sure that you do give yourself the opportunity for boredom, for quietness in the downward facing dog. Or table or child pose, whichever shape that you chose, that you can stay connected to your breath. And I'll stay quiet for a bit. If you're still flowing, take your time. If you already arrived at front of the mat, you're welcome to come into a yoga squat malasana and also come back into that intentional tadasana. Once you arrive at the front of the mat, bring the blocks to the front of the mat, just in case you need it, and shift the weight onto the left foot. Bring the right heel leaning against the left shin bone. You can stay here and open the right knee. You can also bring the right foot above the right knee to the left inner thigh, pressing it into left thigh bone. Use the right hand to guide the right knee to open. Find a spot for you to focus on again. Can be the same spot. And squeeze the left thigh bone into the bottom of the right foot and the other way around as well. Option to get the hand in front of the heart. An option to raise a prayer above the head. The mind might be seeking for stimulation again. And just breathe and rest your mind against it. You can bring the counting back if that helps you. You can stay in whatever variation of tree pose you chose. You can also cross the right ankle over the left knee. Bend your left leg, sit your tailbones down. If you have the blocks in front of you, you can rest your hands onto the blocks. The tallest way into figure 4. Distribute weight evenly through the corner of the left foot. Next, so step the right foot down. Take a big step with your left foot. Spin down your left heel. Bend into the right leg, straighten the left. Open the arms into Warrior Two, Virabhadrasana 2. Move your right knee toward the pinky edge of the right foot. Gaze over the right fingertips. And imagine your left hand is floating just as high as the right. Imagine someone stepping onto the pinky edge of the left foot. One last long inhale, reaching to the fingertips. Next, flip your right palm and reverse your warrior two. Rest your left hand on top of your left thigh. Right arm by the right ear. And reaching far toward the back of the space. Inhale, lengthen to the right arm. Next, come all the way back. Bring the right hand, cartwheel it down inside the right foot. Hug the right knee into the right arm, left arm up. Side angle. Release your left hand down. Walk yourself to the side, parallel your feet, and fold over the legs. And this time, just let the head hang. And if you like to, you can bring a block underneath your forehead to catch the weight of the head. And simply hang there. Inhale, lengthen to the spine. Next up, bend into your left leg, straighten your right, pull the right toes towards you, Skandasana. We'll do Skandasana slightly differently today. So we're gonna add some counting as we did at the beginning of the class. Take an inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, bend into your right leg and slowly 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straighten the left leg, pull the left toes towards you. And we repeat like that. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, bend into your left. 3, 4, 5, 6. You can add the ratio that you like to. Move in between side to side. Slow, steady, with control. Next time when you bend into your right leg, bring the right foot to the right side. Rest your left knee down first. Bring the both hands onto the ground. Lizard lunge. You can add many variations in this lizard lunge. You can come up on to bring the left knee off from the ground. If you like to come down to your elbows, you can start with some blocks underneath your elbows first to bring a little bit closer to the ground. You can also remove the blocks if you can actually get your elbows onto the ground. And you're welcome to try all of them, but do notice that which version of them allows you to breathe with ease. If you notice your breath getting sharp, getting rushing, take a step down. Because that's a sign that your brain is in a fight or flight mode, which leaves no room for boredom, for creating something great. Wherever you are, step your right foot back to me with your left. You probably in a plank pose, a knee plank, or forearm plank. Release your pelvis down. If you're on your hands, come down to your elbows. Pull your elbows towards you. Push the chest forward in the Sphinx pose. Press the top of the feet into the ground. Bring the hands by the chest and press into a child pose. We all meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, step by step, a hop forward. Raise all the way up. Exhale, hand to heart center. We'll do the other side. Standing on the right foot. Rest your left heel against the right ankle. Open the left knee to left side. You can stay there. Option 2, bring the bottom of your left foot to your right inner thigh. Vrikshasana tree pose. Find a steady pose for you to focus on. Option 2, press the palms together into a prayer. Option 2, raise the prayer above the head. You can stay in this tree pose if you like to. You can come into figure 4 by move the left ankle of the right knee. Hopefully your blocks are still at the front of the mat. You can rest the hands on top of the blocks. Open the left knee, flex the left foot if you're in a figure 4. Stay close to your breath. In the next exhale, step your left foot down and take a big step with your right foot. Spin down your right heel. Open the arms. Bend into the left leg, straighten the right. Warrior 2. Gaze over the left fingertips and press the left knee toward the front. Long inhale, reaching through both arms. Exhale, flip your left palm and reverse your warrior 2. Rest your right hand on your right leg, left arm by the left ear. Inhale, come back up. Next, cartwheel left hand all the way down inside of the left foot. Right hand up, hug the left knee into the left arm. Side angle. Reaching high through the right fingertips and pressing strong to the left hand. Next, release right hand down. Walk yourself to the right side, parallel the feet, and fold over the legs. 3 rounds of long breath here in this quiet, steady place. If you need some support, you can bring a block underneath your forehead. On the bottom, next exhale, Bend into your right leg, straighten the left. Pull the left toes towards you, and we're gonna do that again, the breathing practice. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, bend into the left, 3, 4, 5, 6. Straighten the right. Inhale, lift up, 3, 4. Exhale, bend into the right slowly and steadily. And switch in between. Follow the pace of the counting, the breath. Next time when you bend into left leg again, rest your right knee down first. Bring both hands inside of the left foot into a lizard lunge. This is where you can stay. If this is where you can stay close to your breath. And if you like to explore a little bit, you can lift your right knee back up. You can also come down to the elbows on the blocks. And if the floor is not too far away from the blocks, your elbows, you can also remove the blocks. Notice if your breath is getting sharp, getting rushing, your jaws are getting clenching, your neck is tightening. If so, perhaps put some blocks underneath your hands or your elbows. Perhaps release your right knee down onto the floor. So you don't stay in that survival mode. Wherever you are, step your left foot back into a high plank or forearm plank. Take a long inhale, pull the navel toward the spine, pull the pelvis towards the navel. Next, release the pelvis down. Come down to the elbows if you're on your palms into Sphinx pose. Pull the elbows towards you and press the chest toward the front. Your hands by the chest and press yourself into a child. We'll do a little bit back bend before we close the practice today. Hands by the side and puff the chest up. Option 2, come stand on the shin. Bring the palms on your low back, fingertips pointing up, hug the elbows in. Lean your head back and puff the chest up, press the pelvis forward. And come back to neutral. Hands down. Roll your tailbones up. And one last little bit of hips opening. Open the right leg, stack the right hip over the left. Bring the right knee behind the right hand, right foot behind the left hand, into a pigeon pose. If you come into a pigeon, put a couch pillow, a roll of blanket underneath your right hip for some supporting. Then come down to the elbows or extend your arms out. If pigeon pose does not work for you, you can come down onto your back and cross your right ankle over the left knee and pull the legs towards the chest, feed the right hand through the window and pull them close to the chest for figure 4 on the back. It works on the same muscles. If you are in pigeon pose, stack one hand on top of another and rest your forehead on top of it. And for the last couple of rounds of breath, I invite you to stay in this pigeon or figure 4 on the back, but also feel free to let your creativity from the bottom of tonight's practice to express itself. Your body might be calling for any kind of shapes that are coming out of your practice tonight, and just go for it. And if you like to try mermaid pose, which is something I haven't taught or haven't done for a long time, come onto your hands first. Then pull the left heel close to the sit bone. Extend your left hand back. And grab the left ankle with the left hand. Option to stay there. Option to hook the left elbow around the left ankle. Option to bring the right arm above the head and walk the hands towards each other. It's only one expression coming out of tonight's practice, so there's many other shapes that you can try. You can try half lotus, full lotus. Your hips has been opening a lot tonight, so you're actually prepared for a lot of things that you'd like to do tonight. If you're still in a half pigeon, start slowly support yourself up and step your right foot back and step your left foot forward into a low line. So we're gonna reopen the front of the right hip that has been compressed. Once you're ready for the other side, step your left foot back and come back into a downward facing dog. Stack the left hip over the right. And bring the left knee behind the left hand. Left foot behind the right. You can stay in this half pigeon. You can also come onto if you're on your back, cross your left ankle over the right knee and bring the knees close to the chest for figure 4 on this side. If you're staying in half pigeon, you can come down to the elbows. You can stack the left hand on top of the right and then rest the forehead on top of it. Reconnect with your breath. And notice if there's any urgency rising up. Urgency of jumping off the mat, receiving messages, replying messages. Our mind is not always telling us the truth.
to see if you can sit a little bit longer through this boredom, to this not doing much. Sitting through a little bit longer to not blindly following for more stimulation. And again, it's easier said than done. That's why we practice and practice. You can stay in your figure 4 or this half pigeon. If you like to try mermaid pose on the other side, come back up onto your hands and pull the right foot close to you and grab the right ankle with the right hand. Option 2, hook your right elbow around the right foot. Option 2, walk your hands together with your left elbow behind your head. If you have the bind, slowly let it go. If you're on half pigeon, come back up onto your hands and step your left foot toward the back and step your right foot forward to reopen the front left hip. I don't know how the class went by really fast, so we're probably going to have a very short Shavasana. And once you're ready, we'll all come down, come up into a downward facing dog or table and turn around onto our back and gather the props around you. And come down onto your back. If there's any other shape that you'd like to include in your practice today, can be a hugging the knees into the chest, can be a happy baby pose. Whatever you decide to do, I do recommend something that's symmetrical so you leave yourself enough time for resting. And whenever you're ready, spread the arms and legs out. Bring a blanket on top of your pelvis. Rest the shoulders down. Shavasana.
If you like to stay for longer Shavasana, just let my voice be more distant and stay where you are. And if you're ready to come out, wiggle your toes and your fingertips and gently sway your hair side to side. You carefully bend one leg and another end. Roll on to one side. Navigate yourself into a comfortable seat. If the gesture that resonates with you, gather a hand in front of the heart. Take some long breath in. And exhale, let everything out. One more long breath in. And exhale, let everything out. And bow the head toward the heart. Thank you so much for practicing with me tonight. May you all have a great rest of the year. When you're ready, slowly blink open the eyes.